Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got one of the most interesting and unique guitars I've played on in quite some time. So what exactly is this and what does it sound like? Well, let's get into it. Yes, welcome back to the channel, you guys. I hope you're all doing very well today. Check this thing out. I don't think I've ever seen a guitar with this finish before. This sort of olive drab military type finish. Super unique finish and just goes perfectly for a guitar that has some very interesting features as well. So what exactly is it? Well, I'll give you guys a few hints. I don't know if you guys will recognize the Trinity inlays or that VG, or look at that specialized nut. There's only one company on the planet doing that. We'll talk about that in a second. So this is from Valiant guitars. Right, so as you guys have seen, this is the Jupiter model from Valiant guitars. And I just gotta say, I know this guitar comes in all sorts of traditional finishes, some of them distressed, some of them not distressed, but this finish has got me. This is such a cool finish. Just absolutely, absolutely love it. So there's a few things that are very unique about this guitar. As with all Valiant instruments, most of the hardware is done custom in-house. So check out the bridge, super heavy plate, love the logo, the brass saddles, everything looks very custom. You know, the volume, the tone knobs, gives you that V&T wood insert on the metal, just a nice custom touch for sure. Three-way switch down here. And then check out some serious switching up top. You've got three options for each humbucker. You've got series, which is where one coil is wired into the other coil and then out to your electronics. That's a traditional humbucker. So that's going to give you your humbucker tone. You can flip it to parallel, and then you can flip it to just a single coil. So we'll go through all those tones. For each pickup, you can do that. So you got the double sliding switches. There's a look at truss rod adjuster. Now on the back of the headstock, we've got a set of locking tuners, which is always appreciated. On the front side, brass, string trees, and that beautiful, beautiful adjustable nut. And that's kind of like the broad strokes of this guitar. On the back, we've got a nice contoured heel joint there. It slims out this way, but also obviously rounds out that way. So it just holds really nice in the hand all the way up to the top frets. Now, for those who haven't seen a Valiant guitar before, here's a very quick explanation of the adjustable nut. So each string sits in an adjustable post. That post can be raised or lowered depending on, the player's taste, which is so cool. So all you have to do is loosen your string, pull it out of the string slot, use a screwdriver, raise or lower the post, put your string back into the slot, tune it up, and away you go. So you could set this up to play slide in like 2 minutes, really incredible. Or if you just have a preference in terms of like the radius of your neck, how you want the strings to be off the nut, you can make full adjustments there, which is absolutely incredible. Right, so those are just some quick highlights on the Jupiter. I will link to it down in the video description below. Click there and you can get full, listed detailed specs on every aspect of the Jupiter. Let's plug it in. There's a lot of tones to go through. So we'll start off maybe with some clean tones and work into some heavier tones, but let's give it a whirl. Let's plug it in and see what it sounds like. All right, you guys, let's do some playing. I'm gonna start series, go to parallel, go to single coil, and back to series. This is all in the neck pickup, so we've got those three choices, which is phenomenal. Everything's wide open, and the guitar is clean. Here we go. Now, to my ear, the series was definitely the biggest, roundest, fullest of the bunch, as it should be. That's just a regular humbucker wiring. Now, when I went to parallel, I felt like some of those lower mids were gone, and it just gave like a clearer and more compressed tone. So I think, you know, hitting some clean riffs and stuff like that, maybe some country, bluegrass, funk kind of stuff would sound great on this guitar in parallel. And when I went to single coil, it opened back up again. So I felt like series and the single coil were the most open of the bunch. You got all that classic air mixed in with your tone there. And then, yeah, when it went to parallel, it kind of just sucked it all down, really compressed it, and gave a more of a rhythmic tone. So some really great diversity of tones just in the one pickup. Let's go to the bridge, do the same thing. I'm going to add a little bit of overdrive here, and we'll do series, parallel, and single. Here we go. So here are my final thoughts on the Valiant Jupiter. Now, of course, at this point, you guys know I absolutely love this finish. The olive with the black pickguard, you know, with the brass accents and stuff. I think it just looks absolutely phenomenal and super unique. So love, love, love that. Love the custom touches on this guitar with the hardware. It is a very high-end guitar, and it feels like it. It plays really nice. Now, in terms of the tones, most of the time I'll probably find myself using the series mode, which is the regular humbucker. The parallel mode to me sounded maybe a little bit more condensed. I think it would be good for like maybe doing some funk or something like maybe some country licks and stuff where you don't mind that really compressed kind of attacky kind of note. But for me, the series is very open humbucker, and when you split that, really open single coil. And I love to have the single coils there. You're not going to really be able to, you know, emulate a Jazzmaster perfectly because of the pickups in the Jazzmaster are really wide and narrow wind. But the single coils do give a very jangly tone. So if you look at this guitar and you're like, yeah, I got to play some jangle out of this, that's where that single coil mode really comes in. So surprisingly versatile tones out of this guitar. Now, as for some possible downsides, well, Valiant makes incredible guitars. And of course, that's a very good side, but the price goes with it. So between $2,000 and $3,000, that's where most of their models sit. Very high-end, beautiful instruments. So be aware of that. The price does reflect the quality. So you get a very quality guitar, but the price goes along with that. So be aware of that. Great guitars. And the second thing is for this version, which is kind of distressed, I would prefer a thinner finish on this. I can kind of feel the thickness of the finish, and then where it comes down isn't really like a smooth, authentic kind of wear. And I think if they had gone with a much thinner finish here, like the wear was just from people playing. But I also know sometimes when you thin out a finish, you don't get like that deep lustrous color that you want. So it's kind of a give and take. And I think for me personally, I would not change the color, or I wouldn't want it too thinned out so it doesn't look like this. So love the color of it. But yeah, I think if they used a super duper thin nitro finish that's going to crack almost immediately for a guitar like this, I think would be really cool. But that being said, that color is just awesome. So those are a couple things to be aware of. Other than that, like the playing experience, very smooth, very comfortable. The tones, versatile. And the look, well, on this model anyway, nothing out there like this. So absolutely love it. Check it out. As I mentioned, I'll link to it in the video description below for full specs. You can check it out there. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. As you know, I try to find interesting, unique, and beautiful guitars to share with you guys, and this one definitely flies below the radar. Super cool guitar. Other than that, have yourself a great day. We'll see you next time with a new video. Take care.